What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you informed on just what's going on in the space. And as the title shows, are we maybe not going to get a red September this month? Signs are showing that we might not do it, because I believe this is going to be our third executive year if we do not experience red in September, because this used to be Rectember month. We always expected it to go that way, but times have changed now, so I believe we might not see a Rectober. But we have tons of news articles for you outside of that. Not so much Bitcoin news. Sure, there's more treasury companies coming now, more Bitcoin acquisitions, but we have a bunch of altcoin news to cover for you because altcoin season is just right around the corner. I've been saying that for months, but right now I really feel like it's just right there. We could see it this month, next month, so let's just buckle up and be ready. But right now, Bitcoin's currently at $112,000. Looking at this day chart, so we are up today, which is very nice. If you look at the month-long chart, August experienced its little red downturn month. So now I feel like we're in the nice position where we could start moving back up. If you look at previous charts, like let's see, I'm looking at the last cycle, like right here is where see this little dip between these two cycles was during July and then August. So we started going up. So who knows? Maybe we'll follow suit, but you never know. But what else is happening in this space? Like that could cause like bullish sentiment for Bitcoin. Well, it looks like the Fed Governor Waller says that over for the next 3 months or 3 to 6 months, we could see multiple rates coming in. Let's hear what he has to say about that really fast.
I think we need to start cutting rates at the next meeting, and then we don't have to go in a locked sequence of steps. We can kind of see where things are going because people are still worried about tariff inflation. I'm not, but everybody else is. So I would say over the next 3 to 6 months, we can see multiple cuts coming in. Whether it's like every meeting, we'll have to wait and see what the data says.
Okay, so that's good. Hopefully we do see some rate cuts going on, because every time there's a rate cut, it's just a bullish element for Bitcoin, because it's just less fear on taking a risk on an asset because you're going to be borrowing money, but with lower rates, that's less fees going into it. So that's kind of why it's kind of bullish for Bitcoin. But let's talk about the why now, like how Bitcoin is set to beat this red September dip for its 3rd straight year. So that's going to be our first article we cover today. Now, red September is Bitcoin's worst month usually, but rate cut hopes and institutional momentum could extend its winning streak. So yes, so totally different cycle right now. Bitcoin has snapped a 3-year streak of negative summer average returns, but it now enters its worst month, known as red September or Rectember. Now, September carries the dreaded nickname because it has delivered the lowest monthly return for Bitcoin, averaging negative 3.77% across 12 years from 2013. It is also the month China imposed a pair of major crypto bans in 2017 and 2021. Now, that record is weighed down by 6 consecutive years of losses from 2017 to 2022. But the tables turned in 2023, and Bitcoin has now posted 2 straight September gains, including its best September ever in 2024, when it closed the month up 7.29%. Now, the reputation comes from equities, where September is also the weakest month for the S&P 500. It's when investors return from summer with a more risk-off posture and funds rebalancing heading into the 4th quarter. Now, here's a chart showcasing September is also the worst month for the S&P 500. And let's see, the average percent change in the months. So this was January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So September usually is like the minus 1.3. It was just 2022's numbers. But the gloom often doesn't last. September's losses have historically given way to October or Uptober. We have these fun names for them. But a month that has delivered gains in 6 consecutive years and only 2 losses in Bitcoin's history, according to CoinGlass. Now, here's a chart showcasing Bitcoin's monthly returns from the years. So from September, as you see, from going back to 2013, it was like negative, 2014 negative. We were green in 2015 and 16, but then we had 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 years of consecutive negative returns in the month of September. But in 2023, that changed. We had 3.91% gains, 7.29% in 2024. And then October has always pretty much led to green. So hopefully we still see an October coming up. And then November, it's a little hesitant there, but it looks like we are still just going into the returns. But red September is a regulatory drag on Bitcoin. In Bitcoin's early years, its price was scattered and not widely tracked. The asset first breached $1,000 back in 2013, drawing the mainstream media's attention and propping better archive records. That same year, they saw the launch of industry-native aggregator CoinMarketCap, followed by CoinGecko in 2014. 2014. And is that when these sites came out? Because both, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko love these sites for doing research on it. But between 2013 and 2016, Bitcoin September's performance was evenly split with 2 positive months and 2 negative ones. Now, the pattern broke in 2017 during the initial coin offering boom when Bitcoin crossed $1,000 for the second time and passed $2,000 for the first. Now, the speculative frenzy led China's central bank to ban ICOs in September 4th, sparking the first 6 consecutive red Septembers. And then South Korea followed with its own ICO ban on September 29th, while regulators elsewhere were just issuing warnings. Now, the aftermath ushered in what became known as the first crypto winter, as countless ICO tokens crashed, and then by September of 2018, Bitcoin had dropped from its December 2017 all-time high near $20,000 to below $7,000. A September 5th media report claimed that Goldman Sachs was abandoning its crypto desk plans, and then the bank later dismissed the story as fake news. Now, because of that report of they were going to ban their crypto desks, we see that spike down because of the news. Now, September 2019 added another blow with the long-awaited launch of Box Bitcoin futures. Now, despite high expectations for institutional inflows, trading volumes were weak and the debut was branded as a flop. Then 3 days later, Bitcoin plunged from near $10,000 to below $8,000. Now, a Binance research report published on September 30th of 2019 cited that the Box disappointing start as a contributing factor to Bitcoin's price decline. Then the next 3 Septembers reflected the pandemic era and its fallout. While COVID-19 initially boosted Bitcoin's narrative as an inflation hedge, September 2020 saw capital rotate into Ethereum during the DeFi summer. Now, in September of 2021, China struck again with a ban on crypto mining and trading. The next year, the Terra Luna collapse in May left deep scars, and September's 0.75% point rate hike, its 5th in the year of 7 hikes, added salt to just Bitcoin's injury back in 2021. Now, Bitcoin's red September streak is broken now. After 6 straight years of September losses, Bitcoin snapped the streak in 2023. A pivotal catalyst came on August 29th when the Federal Appeals Court ruled that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission rejection of Grayscale's bid to convert its Bitcoin trust into a spot exchange-traded fund was arbitrary and capricious. Now, here's a tweet from Eric Bashunas. Happy ETF approval day, for real this time. To all those who celebrated, as far as we know, it's all systems go. Most likely as we see formal approvals ballpark 4 to 6 p.m. today, with the Derby starting on Thursday. We're already at Bloomberg getting DES pages as we speak. So, man, was it 2023 that we started getting these ETF rollouts and approvals? Let's see, the Bitcoin halving was 2024, and we had the ETF news. Yeah, I guess way before then. That was totally the catalyst for it. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense for why we're out of the September slump. But this decision, though, forced regulators to revise their applications and revive confidence that a U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF was inevitable. The ruling carried momentum into September, helping Bitcoin climb about 4% on the month. And the U.S. Federal Reserve also aided sentiment by holding rates steady after 11 hikes and 12 meetings starting from March 2022. Now, a spot Bitcoin ETFs were approved and listed in the U.S. in early 2024. By mid-year, the financial instruments were routinely posting billions of dollars in daily trading volume. Macro conditions added fuel as the Fed delivered a rate cut on September 18th, 2024, which was the first since March of 2020. Now, here's a chart showing the Fed September 24 and how it started a series of rate cuts until it was held steady for almost 2025. So you just see what rate cuts can do, and then the prices kind of holds. But then came the launch of World Liberty Financial on September 16th of 2024, which was quickly woven into the U.S. election narrative framed as Donald Trump's aligned crypto venture. Now, it debuted while he was in the midst of what would become a successful president campaign, signaling a political embrace of cryptocurrencies at the highest level. And speaking of World Liberty Finance, I believe that coin just got listed on Gemini. I thought I just got an email for that. But when I hear Ivan on Tech Talk about it this morning, or today and yesterday, he was even talking about this is still just a celebrity coin, and you really want to be cautious with those. But I mean, again, we still never know. It's the pro-crypto president. Again, still a celebrity token, so just try to trust that judgment on there. So we'll see where the WLFI coin actually goes, because again, this is just the governance token of its entire network. So it still has potential, but we just gotta wait and see. But let's see, another rate cut could help Bitcoin break this red September curse though right now. Bitcoin is heading into September of 2025, carrying the weight of history. The month has long been a stumbling block, marked by regulatory shocks and tightening cycles that scared investor sentiment. Now, this year, the backdrop looks stronger than in past down cycles, and spot Bitcoin ETFs continue to post billions in turnover and have become a gateway for institutional capital throughout the 2025. Now, struggling companies have turned to Bitcoin treasury strategies in a bid to flip their misfortunes. The crypto industry is also bringing fresh speculation from August out of China, with rumors swirling that authorities could allow stablecoins pegged to offshore yuan. Now, so far, officials have made no confirmations. And I guess just earlier this week, Jerome Powell delivers a dovish remarks in his final Jackson Hole speech, source Associated Press. So when did that take place? But investors' attention is squarely on the US, where the Fed appears to have pivoted in late August. Fed Chair Jerome Powell delivered his final speech in Jackson Hole before his term ends on May 2026. Now, the symposium is one of the most closely watched events in global economics, as it is often used by Fed's chair to hint at policy's directions. Then in 2022, Powell warned of a pain for households and businesses as the Fed pressed on with aggressive rate hikes. Now, this year, he struck a dovish tone, saying that shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting the Fed's policy stance. Now, another reduction is widely expected at the Federal Open Market Committee meeting scheduled for September 16th and 17th. So we have about 2 weeks until we truly find out if we're going to get a rate cut. And if so, definitely expect Bitcoin's price to go up. If not, if there is a gain in it or no change at all, Bitcoin's price will probably dip. I don't think it'll dip a little bit, or no, I don't think it'll dip a lot, but maybe just a little bit, or just hold its place for the time being. But no, so that's what we should be expecting for this month of September. So it's totally a bullish sentiment, as again, since that first Twitter post right here from Governor Wallace saying that we could be seeing multiple cuts, it's just a bullish sign that we are coming out of the red September. So that is our first news article revolving Bitcoin and just what's going on in the space. Now let's talk about the U.S. Bancorp reopens its Bitcoin custody service for fund managers. So again, banks are getting back involved with crypto and Bitcoin out there, definitely because of the change in regulatory rules out there, because we abolished the Operation Choke Point 2.0, which definitely stifled innovation in the US because banks cannot touch anything to do with cryptocurrencies. So now we are getting more news about just more banks that's getting involved. Now, the custody service starts with Bitcoin only, with fintech company NYDIG as the sub-custodian for it. Now, financial service giant US Bancorp said on Wednesday it is reviving its crypto custody service for institutional investment managers, further expanding our capabilities and unlocks new opportunities to deliver innovative solutions to those we serve, said Dominic Venturo, Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Digital Officer at the US Bank, in a statement. Now, the US Bank will continue to drive progress and shape the future of what matters for our clients in the digital financial space. Now, in partnership with NYDIG, the program targets providing custody services for Bitcoin. The bank also expands its platform to support Bitcoin exchange-traded funds to meet growing demand from fund managers. Now, NYDIG is honored to partner with US Bank as its primary provider for Bitcoin custody services, said the NYDIG CEO Tejas Shah in a statement. Together, we can bridge the gap between traditional finance and modern economy by facilitating access for global fund services to its clients to Bitcoin as sound money, delivered with the safety and security expected by regulated financial institutions. Now, again, right there, he called Bitcoin as sound money, which we will be talking about in tomorrow's crypto class. So if you want to attend that, join the club. I get the newsletter out with the Zoom link for that tomorrow. So if you want to understand why Bitcoin is sound money, pay attention to that class, because these guys definitely agree with it. But the Minneapolis-based commercial bank, the fifth largest in the U.S., first unveiled the crypto custody program back in 2021. But it decided to keep it on hold over regulatory concerns, specifically after the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission issued accounting guidance, Staff Accounting Bulletin number 121, or the SAB 121, which made it a capital intensive for banks to hold crypto assets like Bitcoin for their clients. Now, the guidance was rescinded earlier this year after the federal securities regulator introduced SAB 122, easing accounting challenges for banks and financial institutions, promoting its expansion for crypto custody services. Now, following the SEC's landmark move, the U.S. Bancorp CEO Gunjan Kedia said that at the Morgan Stanley U.S. Financial Conference in June that the bank's crypto custody service is returning as regulatory clarity improves. She also noted that at the time, that while custody focuses on crypto investments, the current trend is shifting toward payments and stablecoins, which the bank is actively exploring through pilots and potential partnerships. Now, with the relaunch of U.S. Bank is now among a small but expanding group of traditional financial institutions competing with crypto-native firms in the custody space. Now, Bank of New York, Mellon, and Fidelity have launched similar services, joining companies such as Coinbase, BitGo, and Anchorage Digital. The bank will consider offering custody of other crypto assets if they meet the bank's standards, a spokesperson told Bloomberg. Now, most of these requirements usually determine if they must meet a certain requirement, the coin must have a $500 billion market cap size, or even 600. I think that was kind of the rules with some of these strategic Bitcoin reserves for the states locally. And right now, that's kind of only Bitcoin. If you look at the market cap for there, it's a 2.2 trillion. But then you go to the second largest coin, it's Ethereum, which is only at 539 billion. So if the rule is they can only hold coins with a market cap of 6 billion, that really only leaves Bitcoin until these guys catch up to them. But that is the U.S. bank news. And just again, more institutions are getting involved in Bitcoin, again, because we got clarity now. And we're definitely looking forward to the Clarity Act to come into. Just again, more regulation is just going to help spread innovation through the states. It's not going to stop DeFi in full control. It's going to help out the centralized side of the system, because in crypto, you have a centralized side and a decentralized side. So this is definitely helping the centralized space get on board with crypto, holding it, and then hopefully they'll trickle down to actually self-custody, move into the DeFi space to actually take control of your money and finances. But no, so we need this, and this is all good stuff happening right now. Now, what else is going on in space? I have a couple of X posts here. Looks like just in, Trump's mining company, American Bitcoin, debuts on the NASDAQ, and they hold more than $260 million worth of Bitcoin. So again, just more companies and just more information out there for you to say, it's like, oh, that's more Bitcoin off the table. So I should probably get some now before it's all gone. Because again, there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and that's it. And then what else is going on? Looks like just in, Winklevoss Brothers backed the new Bitcoin treasury company, Treasury BV, which bought 1,000 Bitcoin. Again, nothing is stopping this trend, because again, we have institutions getting in, so more banks going to be custodying Bitcoin. We got big companies, even the Trump family's mining companies getting into treasury companies. We got the Winklevoss Exchange having another one. Just every single day, we keep getting more and more news about just some treasury happening, more Bitcoin accumulation. So I am totally bullish on Bitcoin, and also hence why I don't see a red September happening, because these guys are still buying. They're still adding. Sure, they are buying usually over the counter, so that way it doesn't affect the price, but somehow they might need to start doing the exchanges if they can't buy over the counter anymore. And then that's when we'll really see that price spike. But speaking of US treasuries, let's move to not a Bitcoin treasury, but this one planning on hold Ethereum. So yes, this company plans to go public with an Ethereum treasury, and here's how much ETH they bought. So the Ether Machine is a crypto infrastructure firm, and it is preparing to go public with one of the largest Ethereum holdings in the sector. Over the last few months, the company has added more ETH to its balance sheets, positioning itself as the third largest Ethereum treasury company in the market, ahead of its planned NASDAQ listing. Now, Ether Machine secures $654 million in ETH ahead of the debut, and Ethereum's growing position in institutional crypto investments took a major leap this week, as the Ether Machine just confirmed a major Ethereum purchase. Now, in an X social media post on Tuesday, September 2nd, the company announced that it has secured a $654 million worth of Ethereum, equivalent to 150,000 ETH tokens, in a private financing. So again, they did it private, probably peer-to-peer, so that way it doesn't affect the price at all. Hence why we're seeing Ethereum's price still just hover around $4,300, $4,400. Now, Jeffrey Burns, a well-known Ethereum advocate and early supporter of the ecosystem, reportedly made this large-scale ETH acquisition, marking one of the largest individual commitments to a crypto treasury company. Now, the investment is set to be moved into the firm's wallet later this week, and notably, the Ether Machine is now finalizing its preparations for its highly anticipated NASDAQ debut later this year. Now, once listed, the treasury firm expects to hold over 495,000 Ethereum tokens, valued at roughly $2.5 billion in its statement on X. Now, the company revealed that its latest edition of 150,000 ETH represents a landmark follow-on investment and a new benchmark for the scale of treasury accumulation. Now, across the crypto sector, it added that the growing size of its reserves provided it with unmatched strength and credibility among competitors. Now, for a market increasingly shaped by institutional adoption, the Ether machine's aggressive accumulation strategy underscores the growing shift towards corporate entities directly holding Ethereum as a core balance sheet asset. So unlike other firms that diversify between cryptocurrencies, the Ether machine has remained laser focused on ETH as its flagship store of value. Now, this position places the treasury company in a distinct spotlight ahead of its public market debut. Now, Ethereum treasury demand shrinks Ethereum treasury demand shrinks the exchange supply. So, the Ether machine recent treasury move is part of a broader market trend that has seen ETH depleting rapidly from crypto exchange supplies. According to reports, Ethereum reserves on centralized exchanges have been declining at an unprecedented rate, with just about 12% of ETH still held on these platforms compared to nearly 30% a few years ago. Wow, that is a big difference. That is over half. So yeah, it is dwindling. Now, crypto analyst Leon Weidman argues that this sharp drop directly results from increasing institutional demand, driven by Ethereum's treasury companies and as well as Ethereum-backed exchange-traded funds. Weidman suggests that the buying pressure from these entities is creating a long-term supply crunch that could have explosive implications for Ethereum's price trajectory. Insights from another market expert, CryptoGucci.eth on X, further reinforce this trend. The analysis pointed out that BitMine, the largest Ethereum treasury firm, has been accumulating ETH at nearly 20 times the pace of Michael Saylor's strategy stored Bitcoin purchases. Now, if strategy took over 1,200 days to amass almost $9 billion worth of Bitcoin, BitMine acquired the same value in less than 2 months. So, yeah, all these companies just keep acquiring more and more Bitcoin and Ethereum, as we're seeing. And what we're seeing is they are the ones that are actually dwindling the supplies on exchanges, which will definitely cause a big supply crunch. But these companies going to Ethereum, though, is definitely a sign that we're going to alt season. I showed a chart the other day showing like how the money flows into the altcoin season. And let me see if I can pull that up again. ETH alt season money flow chart. So let me pull that up. I know I can find it pretty fast. It's images right here. Can I go to a bigger image? So here I'm on it. Where is that chart? I missed it. Let's go back then. Let's go back one more. There we go. So here's the chart I'm trying to pull up if we can get a decent enough picture of it. So yeah, here we go. So path to the alt season. So again, like for these past 2 years, like with the Bitcoin ETFs and then all that stuff, we have phase one, the flow of money went to Bitcoin. And then now we're starting to see phase two, where money's flowing into Ethereum. So again, like these Ether treasury holding the biggest ones right now with 150,000, money is flowing into these guys. So we're starting to see news about it. And next phase will lead into large cap coins, which again, we have a Solana ETF coming out this month too, I believe. So there's a bullish side. So we have large cap coins like Solana, Cardano, XRP. Money's going to start flowing into these large cap coins. And then regardless of the market cap, some altcoins with strong fundamentals will start pumping. And then phase four, art season. Large caps have gone full vertical and we're seeing blow off tops, mid caps, low caps. So they're taking a piece of that pie. They made some gains from the altcoins, from the large cap altcoins, move it to the more riskier ones. Those pump and then they either move it to a stable coin, back into Bitcoin, or they cash out. It's one of the other ones. But this is kind of the flow chart for how alt season is kind of placed. When I said like it feels like we're just around the corner, it's because we are getting those news articles of treasury companies, again, going public, buying more Ethereum, adding to it, because this isn't the first company. We even have SharpLink that's been acquiring Ethereum in their treasury as well. So just a little thing to keep an eye on. So if you've been waiting on alt season saying when, it's like, just follow where the money's going. Went from Bitcoin, Ethereum, we're going to start seeing next up as large cap coins. So just wanted to show that out there to you guys. Now let's take a quick commercial break and then I'll be back with some more altcoin news. So see you in a few.
Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Men Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I was pumping my bad habit vape. Which idea to do? What? Better than cigarettes. No, it's not. It's probably much worse. Let me take a sip of soda before we continue on. I chug my coffee. 2 creamers, no sugar, but that's how I like my coffee. But let's continue on with the news. What else is happening in the crypto space? We covered some Bitcoin news. Wait, did we really cover any Bitcoin news? Just U.S. Bank, getting back in their Bitcoin custody position. The Trump America Bitcoin is acquiring 1,000 Bitcoin. So we covered the Bitcoin news. We covered some Ethereum news, accumulation news. Now let's talk about Solana. It looks like this blockchain is about to get an upgrade. So Solana is set for a major speed boost via the Alpenglow upgrade. Now here's what to expect. So Solana is gearing up for a major improvements after validators passed a proposal Tuesday. Now here's what Alpenglow will do and when it's coming. So Solana is about to get a whole lot faster, and developers say after a proposal for a major network upgrade passed on Tuesday, validators for the popular Layer 1 blockchain network voted 98% in favor of SIMD-0236. Now, the Solana improvement proposal that implements Alpenglow, a new consensus protocol conceived by the research team at Solana research and development firm, ANZA. Now, speedier transaction confirmations are a key part of the improvements coming to Solana. Now, the biggest difference users will feel right away will be a reduction in confirmation latency to approximately 150 to 200 ms, ANZA lead economics mass forensic told Decrypt. So here's a post from Solana status. The community governance processed its vote for SIMD-0326. Alpenglow is complete. The proposal has passed. There was a 98% approval, only 1% no, 0.6% voted to abstain, and then 52% of the state cast a vote. So right now, optimistic confirmations are served in about 1 second. So it's at least 5 times improved from today. Okay, so MS was 150 to 200 milliseconds. So definitely a lot faster. Now, he continued that apps are going to feel a lot snappier and exchanges will be able to safely credit deposits much faster than the full 12.8 seconds finality window that they adhered to today. Now, first introduced in May, Alpenglow is designed to reconfigure Solana's existing consensus protocol and put the network on par with centralized infrastructure used in traditional finance. Now, the proposal billed it as a major overhaul of Solana's core consensus protocol with modern architecture focused on performance, resilience, and whenever possible, simplicity. Now approved by the network's validators, Resnick hopes Alpenglow's implementation will be live on testnet by the Solana Breakpoint conference in December, with a mainnet release planned for Q1 of 2026. Here is a quick note post on that. Our validator voted yes on the Alpenglow soon as a voting opened, and Alpenglow is a major shift for Solana, adding modern consensus for at least 100 to 150 millisecond finality versus its 12.8 second one we got right now. Now, while details evolve, it's the right path to fix bottlenecks and match Web 2 banking speeds. Now, Alpenglow is the most significant rewrite of the Solana protocol to date. Its passage today paves the way for faster processing and finality, and for internet capital markets to emerge. Now, the multi-coin capital managing partner Kyle Samini told Decrypt that one of the most important attributes of Solana's success is developers' community's dogged pursuit of performance and their ability to push distributed computing to the limits of physics. He added, now Alpenglow will be an important mile marker on our way to 1 million transactions per second. Now, that would be crazy. That's a lot of transactions. I think Bitcoin's so few. Now, the consensus protocol upgrade is one of a handful of planned technological improvements for Solana over the coming years, which supporters say are designed to make the blockchain home to the world's best financial markets. Recently, Solana achieved more than 100,000 transactions per second in a test run by a Solana developer. Now, analysis told Decrypt on Tuesday that Alpenglow's implementation could help push Solana to as high as $250 by year's end. And Solana is currently up 5% in the last 24 hours, around 207, which is 29% its February all-time high of 293. So could we get pushed to 250? Let's take a look at the market cap size right now. So Solana is number 6 on CoinMarketCap. It's currently at 210. Let's take a look at its little trajectory. So all-time high, let's see, what was its all-time high? Was $294. Yep. So can we get pushed back to 250, which we kind of saw a couple months ago? No, a couple weeks ago? No, last year. Last year was when we were reaching those last highs. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if this can push it too. I don't know. Faster speeds, more adoption. And this, when I say adoptions, it's more people actually using the network, playing around with the apps, actually using their decentralized exchanges out there. So yeah, maybe this could push the coin up's price. But that is our Solana news for you. Let's move on to Avalanche. There's always so much altcoins out there, so you can't cover all the news, but these are the biggest news events happening. But the Avalanche activity driven by decentralized exchange trading bots and meme coin speculation is growing. So growing decentralized trading and meme coin speculation from big investors are driving Avalanche's blockchain activity, according to Nansen analysts. And I guess he said that it's not involved with why the U.S. government's going to be putting their GDP data on one of these chains. And I believe Solana was one of them. But he said, like, this growth is because people are actually using the blockchain and its decentralized exchange to make trades. So smart contract blockchain Avalanche recorded a consistent surge in blockchain activity, as analysis pointed to growing decentralized trading activities and returning crypto whale speculation on the next emerging meme coin. Avalanche transaction growth surpassed all other blockchains this past week, rising 66% to 11.9 million transactions across more than 181,000 active addresses, signaling growing investor mindshare focusing on the blockchain. Now, the milestone occurred after a landmark effort of the U.S. Department of Commerce, which adopted Avalanche along with 9 other public decentralized blockchains to publish its real gross domestic product data, Cointelegraph reported on Friday. Now, despite Avalanche's growing institutional and government adoption, we cannot at this point attribute this to the U.S. government adopting Avalanche for its GDP data, said Nikolai Sondergaard, research analysis at the Nansen Crypto Intelligence Platform. Now, the network's increasing blockchain activity was mainly driven by decentralized finance traders, miners' extractable value, trading bots, and whales speculating on the next big meme coin launch, the analysis told Cointelegraph. Also adding that the transaction surge is driven by 60% DeFi protocol activity, Trader Joe, Aave, Benki, and 25% automated trading bots and MEVs, and 10% whale trading and meme coin speculation. So the research analysis explained that the additional 5% of the blockchain activity was attributed to blockchain gaming and non-fungible tokens out there. Now, DEX trading is at a high balance, and whales drove the majority of Avalanche's blockchain activity, said Nansen. So cryptocurrency trading on decentralized exchanges drove the lion's share of Avalanche's blockchain activity, with Trader Joe DEX as the primary driver, which saw over 333 million worth of Avalanche wrapped Ether volume during the past 7 days. Now, Trader Joe, I just finally remembered this one, like Trader Joe's DEX. There was like a couple of years ago, maybe it was a year ago, there was a lawsuit going on with the actual Trader Joe's, the grocery store here in the United States. And I believe Trader Joe DEX actually won that lawsuit. So I just wanted to bring that up, just little historical facts with this exchange. But key players are driving this activity, including traders on Nansen's top 100 leaderboard who made multiple 6-figure trades, Sondergaard said. Now, Aave lending protocol was secondary driver with $624,000 worth of flash loan activity through DEX aggregators. while the Benki protocol was another significant driver. After receiving over $650,000 worth of deposits from cryptocurrency trading bots, and automated trading activities and high balance will addresses drove the rest of the blockchain activity, with the Black token seeing $14 million in trading volume, with multiple will addresses amassing up to $95,000 worth of the token. What is that Black token, huh? Like, why were people getting into it? See, there's so many coins out there that I missed some facts and news out there. You really got to dive into those altcoins. But looking at one of Avalanche's main competitors, the Solana blockchain, saw a 6.7% decrease in weekly transactions, including 433 million transactions across 18.9 million active addresses. Now, similar to Avalanche's DEX trading trove, the majority of blockchain activity, including Radium DEX with 12.4 million users and 297 million transactions, followed by Flux Beams DEX, which is 7.3 million users and 173 million transactions. Now, these are different trading decentralized exchanges that are being used. So again, Radium is usually Solana. FluxBeam, I'm not sure. That actually might be Solana too, but who knows? Maybe it's Avalanche. I never used that one, but that one I have used before. But yeah, these are just names of decentralized exchanges out there. But yeah, so that is what's going on with Avalanche. It's seeing some growing activity right now from whale activity, meme coins, decentralized exchanges, also loaning aggregators out there. So we'll see what happens to Avalanche. They have a lot of positive news coming from them. And also, it's the chain that I think they partnered with Toyota too to get a lot of, they're going to be helping out with putting like all like robo-taxis or all that data on Avalanche's chains. And then I think Avalanche is also a part of the California's DMV and listed at least 20,000 or thousands of car titles on chain. So Avalanche may have a nice little bullish year this year. Let's take a look at its price actually too. Let's see, Avalanche. Let's take a look at this coin. Let's go back to CoinMarketCap. Where is this on the CoinMarketCap? Avalanche, so number 7. So right now, Avalanche is currently at $25 right now, with its all-time high was once, let's see, $146. So that could be a potential 2-3x coin, or it can even go higher. But again, speculation, not a financial advisor, guys. I'm just looking at where we are in the cycle. Like, and once alt season hits, we could see a potential rise again. So it's all speculation, not financial advice. Do your research and only invest where you're willing to lose. And I always like to tell people, if you're getting into the altcoin space other than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is definitely the safest bet to like at least preserve your wealth. But when it comes to the altcoin space, if you want to dip your toes into it, just expect you lost that money right then and there. So the moment you start playing with it, just assume that money's gone, because that would be the easiest thing to do to not stifle you from like getting hurt. Because if the price doesn't go up and price goes down, you already know that's like, well, I already lost at the very beginning. So no harm, no foul. So just always keep that in mind when you want to dip into the alt space. Now let's move on to some XRP news, or not XRP token news, but XRP Ledger. Looks like it's getting its game on as B3 network expands from Ethereum base. So B3 is bringing its crypto gaming ecosystem to the XRP Ledger, starting with a variety of casual games inside the Xcade. So let's hear a little bit about this. Blockchain gaming is definitely improving. We talked about like hardware devices coming out there, and games are definitely getting better. Pudgy Penguin just came out with their blockchain gaming. I saw Ivan on Tech playing it, and yeah, it looked pretty smooth and compared to other blockchain games out there. So gaming and crypto is definitely evolving. But crypto gaming is coming to the XRP Ledger with the creation of the XRPL Game Chain, a dedicated space for gaming designed to onboard new users to the ecosystem. Now, the effort is spearheaded by AppChain Network and Gaming Ecosystem B3, which began life as a Layer 3 network built on Ethereum's network base. Now, in collaboration with XRPL Commons, an entity dedicated to fueling the growth of the network behind leading cryptocurrency XRP. Now, gaming is universal to all of us. We have games on our phones, we play now, or grew up playing video games as kids. Victoria Hyen, co-founder and B3 creator of NPC Labs, told Decrypt. Through our own research conducted when we were at Coinbase, the team realized that the most successful way to have users participate and engage more meaningfully on-chain is through creating fun, frictionless, and novel experiences. On-chain games allow for that. Now, the XRPL Game Chain will open with a testnet version of Xcade, an online arcade containing 5 separate casual or hyper-casual gaming titles designed with quick-paced gameplay and mobile-friendly sessions. The full version of the arcade is expected to launch this fall. Now, the intent is to make participating on-chain and on the XRP ledger accessible, fun, and entertaining, said Hing. Upon launch, the game catalog will grow and expand, but I will still be in the same category. We want to update the catalog weekly for Xcade post-launch so that there's always new games to play, fun to have, and ways to participate in the XRP ecosystem outside of just holding the token. So when playing on the XRPL game chain, users will be able to complete challenges and earn XRP rewards via tournaments, competitions, and game nights on the network, which was made possible thanks to the June debut of the XRPL EVM sidechain. So now with greater composability and programmability, B3 and XRPL Commons are hoping to drum up activity and create greater utility for XRP and Ripple linked assets out there. Now, XRP is highly held token looking for new use cases, said Healing. We aim to create novel ways to use the token reward users for their participation and then grow the number of daily active users in the XRP community. Now, B3 is built by former members of the team that worked on Coinbase's Ethereum Layer 2 network base and then launched its first gaming ecosystem called the BSMNT on Base before building out more robust networks of app chains. Now, it launched its ecosystem token in February and boasts more than 100 playable games and 8.5 million onboard wallets out there. So it looks like they have a nice little chunk of people. Like we hear 8.5 million users, but that's not a lot compared to, say, someone playing like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, and what's that other one? Roblox. Yeah, so those popular games out there has probably billions of users out there. So, but it's a start out there. And again, this is XRP like ecosystem trying to like just again build out, expand more ways. So instead of just holding the XRP token, it's like play with it. So who knows? There'll probably be like in-game functions where you can probably spend your XRP to gain some like actual in-game items. But again, this article also said that you can earn XRP by playing the game too, by completing tasks or whatnot. So I look forward to seeing how this is going to play out, and I'll keep you informed on what goes on with it. Now let's move on to our next article on CZ-owned Trust Wallet launches tokenized stocks and ETFs. So Trust Wallet's self-custodial wallet rolled out real-world asset support in collaboration with Ondo Finance and 1inch initially available on Ethereum. Now, if you want my opinion on Trust Wallet, I don't like it. I really do not. It's like the front end just never works. I've helped a couple members like trying to like do some stuff on there. Like they receive some crypto onto their wallet. It's viewable on the blockchain. You can see the transaction. It's there. But when you open up his Trust Wallet, the app just never updated at all. We even uninstalled the app, reinstalled it with a seed phrase, and still nothing. So like when you have a crypto wallet, you want to be sure it works and you can actually see it. So when I saw that, it's like sure this is a little glitch and everything, but it's not a trustworthy wallet if it's not really working out there. So even though they're adding real world assets to this platform, just be cautious. Maybe look for other options out there, but let's still cover this news article. So don't want to steer you away, but I'm just giving you my opinion on this wallet. But Trust Wallet, the self-custodial crypto wallet owned by Binance co-founder Changpeng Zhao, has integrated tokenized stocks and exchange-traded funds into its platform. After initially disclosing the plan to introduce a real-world asset in June, Trust Wallet has launched tokenized versions of U.S. stocks and ETFs for use around the globe. The company said in an announcement shared with Cointelegraph on Wednesday that the integration is carried out in collaboration with Ondo Finance, a major decentralized finance platform focused on real-world assets, and the decentralized exchange aggregator 1inch. Now, integrating real-world assets into self-custodial wallets is an important step in making global finance more open and efficient. Trust Wallet CEO Eowyn Chen said that the bigger picture is how blockchain democratizes access to financial markets and lays the foundation for a more inclusive future of finance, she added. Now, Ondo brings the asset and 1inch powers the rails. So as part of the collaboration, Ondo Finance will supply Trust Wallet with tokenized real-world assets, which are stocks, ETFs, and bonds, and initially issued on Ethereum using smart contracts, with Solana support planned next. Now, in the meantime, 1inch Fusion enhances liquidity and pricing to ensure smooth, efficient swaps into real-world assets. So here's a diagram showing Trust Wallet supported real-world assets, offering allows minimum investments of just $1 and doesn't require local brokerages or documents, and the source came from Trust Wallet itself. So in short, Ondo brings the assets and 1inch powers the wells, and Trust Wallet makes it accessible in self-custody. Acting as a platform or tool, Trust Wallet marketing head Sammy Watini told Cointelegraph, adding that Trust Wallet's philosophy has always been multi-chain and provider agnostic. This is just the beginning. We'll be integrating more real-world asset providers and liquidity sources over time so users get the broadest and most open access as possible. Now, according to Trust Wallet's website, the real-world asset tokens are not available in specific regions, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and the European Economic Area. So your swap will not go through if you reside in these regions where real-world asset tokens are not available, Trust Wallet said. So I guess you guys are going to need to use a VPN just to hide your location when you're using the Trust Wallet. Make it thinking you're in El Salvador or Russia, just anywhere just to get past it. But additionally, real-world asset swapping follows the U.S. market's hours from Monday to Friday at 1:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. UTC time. And the company's website said that you can't just trade real-world assets outside of these hours. But we track off-hours interest for future features like 24/7 trading or limit orders, it said. Now, the confluence of self-custody and real-world assets. So by launching real-world asset support on its self-custody wallet, Trust Wallet has emerged as one of the first platforms to integrate the concept of RWAs and self-custody. So while self-custody enables users to manage their assets independently, free from centralized control, tokenized RWAs are a digital representation of real-world properties serving as certificates of ownership. Now, according to Trust Wallet's Sammy Watinin, the collaboration aligns with the company's mission of promoting freedom of ownership and providing people with direct, secure access to the full spectrum of crypto and Web3 opportunities. Now, here's the tweet talking about it from Trust Wallet, introducing tokenized stocks and ETFs. Trust Wallet is now the first self-custody wallet to unlock access to RWAs, starting with tokenized stocks and ETFs on Ethereum. Now, 200 million plus people can now swap USDC into real-world assets like any other token on a mobile extension. Now, tokenized real-world assets are a natural step as they unlock traditionally gated assets like stocks or ETFs and now make them accessible to anyone, anywhere from their own wallet. It's a powerful extension of what self-custody can mean, he said. Now, Yushin Borden, an analyst at the hardware wallet company Trezor, distinguished two perspectives when addressing the mix of self-custody and real-world assets. So if a blockchain supports real-world asset tokens, any self-custodial hardware wallet that supports that chain can hold them securely, Borden told Cointelegraph. Now, from the wallet's perspective, he said, there's no difference between a RWA token and any other token, adding that some examples like gold or treasury-backed tokens are already being stored this way. Now, there's an important distinction between the two from an ownership perspective, though, he said. With cryptocurrencies, your keys equal direct ownership of the asset. With real-world assets or stablecoins, your keys secure the token, but the underlying asset remains with an issuer or custodian, Borden said, adding that means self-custody works technically, but trust in the issuer is still essential. So yeah, so that's a good point right there. So the seed phrase and private keys definitely true show ownership of the wallet and the assets in there. But I guess with these real world assets out there, there's still going to need to be some trust with the holder of it. So yeah, so again, if you guys want to utilize the Trust Wallet, try it out. If you're in the United States, you will need a VPN to hide your location. But again, my views on Trust Wallet, I don't like it. I don't recommend it to people just because I've seen too many problems with it. And also I've seen a lot of scammers use it. They have like a view only option. So if you were being scammed, the scammer would usually have you download the app, do the view only, and then at that point, people start using it, listening to the direction of the scammer, and then by the time it's too late, they've come to the crypto club many times. So, I've seen this happen in multiple occasions, and they go, hey, I need help moving my crypto off of my wallet, but the first thing I see is it's view only. There's no send button at all. You can just receive, and that's it. And that's when I have to tell them, it's well, I'm sorry, but who has access to the seed phrase? I try to get all the answers because I'm just trying to tell them it's you have no control of this. This is a view-only wallet. You can just see what's in there. You can put money into it, but that's it. And at that point, once they finally disclose information, it's oh no, they did all this setup. They have the keys or whatnot. Then it's I'm sorry, but that money's gone. So again, I've seen this wallet used for bad habits, but again, it's not the main one out there. But I also just don't like it because that had some front end glitches with it where it's not pulling up actual data from the blockchain, so you can't see what you truly have. So just take that into account. So if you want to choose a wallet, try to choose a secure one. Like I enjoy Exodus wallet, which is a software wallet free to download. I enjoy Trezor wallet. That's another hardware wallet I have. And then also I enjoy using my Calyx laptop for just as a vault for crypto holdings, and usually I keep Exodus on that one. So yeah, just keep an eye out and do your research when you're studying crypto wallets and which ones you want to use. Now let's talk about Polygon. Yeah, it looks like this blockchain out there, continuing on with our news, suffers an hour-long outage weeks after a complex hard fork. So if you were trying to make a trade on the Polygon network this hour, you weren't able to. So let's hear a little bit about this. So Polygon went dark for an hour on Wednesday after a validator left the network, triggering an unexpected bug. The protocol is live now and the developers found a patch for it. So it should be all fixed, all good. But according to the Polygon Foundation, there was a temporary disruption to Polygon's Heimdall system, which used to run validators, maintain consensus, and link to Ethereum's main chain. Heimdall, named after a prominent god in Norse mythology, is one of the two primary layers of Polygon proof-of-stake network alongside Bohr, which is producing blocks. Is this like a Norse god, like whole blockchain thing? Because Heimdall, Heimdall is like, if you ever watched the Marvel movies, Thor, he's the guy who guarded the gate, a giant sword, had those guys. So I guess they named it after him. But approximately 4 hours ago, Heimdall experienced a temporary disruption that led to a 1 hour halt on in-chain progression caused by a validator's exit. Now, the foundation said that Bohr remained fully operational throughout continuing to produce blocks without interruption. Notably, the consensus bug comes just weeks after Heimdall was upgraded to Comet BFT and Cosmos SDK v0.50 to reduce finality times and improve scalability on July 10th. Now, Polygon has referred to the Heimdall v2 update as its most technical, complex hard fork since 2020. Now, Polygon is one of the largest and most influential Ethereum Layer 2s with over $1.1 billion in total value locked, and once dominant, the network has been losing influence amid a growing field of Layer 2 competition. Now, Pol is trading at around 22 cents right now, down 1% on the day, according to the block's data page. And the largest blockchain-based prediction market, Polymarket, is primarily housed on Polygon. So an error warning on Polymarket's website briefly showed that the market was experiencing errors. So were they not, if you were trading on Polymarket, were you not able to make a swap or bet on there? I gotta look into that a little bit more. But Polygon's error site shows that the bug was detected shortly before 10 a.m. Eastern Time and resolved at 11:01 Eastern Time. Polygon said the network block producing Bohr layer remained unaffected, suggesting that regular transactions on Polygon network continued without interruption. Okay, so it looks like there was probably no stall then at that point. So to be clear, the Polygon proof-of-stake chain has remained live, but due to the RPC issues, users may experience disruption accessing various apps. The foundation said, we are now actively collaborating with the RPC provider to accelerate resolution and then restore user-facing services. The network is not the only to suffer outages. On Tuesday, Hyperliquid suffered an API outage reportedly caused by a spike in traffic. It's also not the first time Polygon has gone down. And again, in past history too, Solana even had some downage back in 2022, or was it 2021, 2022? It was one of those years, but like that network went down 12 times within the year. And I just totally lost all hope for that chain and kind of regret that because I should have been investing when it was at its all-time low. It was just $20 because now it's at $200. That would have been a 10x right there. But again, so just in my experience, don't let this actually stifle you. Like Polygon still, again, controls the Poly market, it's a layer 2 on Ethereum's blockchain. It has potential still. So again, when I see these outages, sure, it discourages my trust in the network and just hoping like they just fully go down and never come back up. But again, like if I were to deter from this and not want to hold any Polygon and then it does what a Solana did, it's like man, should have got some. So, but again, guys, always do your research before you get in a project and understand your risk to reward tolerance. So again, if altcoin has such a low market cap, very, very risky, which might not, very, very risky, so might not do any gains at all. Bitcoin, very, very low risk at all. So always understand your risk to reward level because down here, there might not be much change at all going on. Up here, you could lose it all. So just always understand that. Now, in our last article, I'm not going to cover the whole thing, but it looks like we're going to be getting another Bitcoin blockbuster movie. Killing Satoshi film to star Casey Affleck and Pete Davidson. Really, Pete Davidson. But the Bourne Identity director Doug Liman will helm the film that sets his spotlight Bitcoin and pseudonymous creator Satoshi Nakamoto. So it looks like we're getting another video trying to probably speculate who Satoshi is. Probably not, but in a feature film called Killing Satoshi, it is being directed by Doug Liman, the creator of the Bourne Identity film, and set to release in 2026. The movie will star Casey Affleck and Pete Davidson. The thriller will focus on the creation of Bitcoin and the identity of its mysterious creator. So this is actually going to be an actual movie, like almost like that one Robin Hood movie that just came out. I wonder, or like how The Big Short or Margin Call. I wonder if this is going to be kind of like that film. But the documentaries have so far failed to identify Bitcoin pseudonymous creator Satoshi Nakamoto convincingly. Now, an upcoming feature film from notable Hollywood creatives aims to put a dramatic spin on the crypto's creation and impact. So Hollywood is turning its lens toward crypto with Killing Satoshi, a conspiracy thriller that will explore the secret identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. Again, directed by Doug Liman, known for The Bourne Identity and Mr. Smith, and Swingers, will helm the project starring Oscar-winning Casey Affleck and Pete Davidson, according to a report from Variety. Now, the film's screenplay is written by Nick Schenck, who previously collaborated with Clint Eastwood on Gran Torino and The Mule, and traces what describes as an elite cabal's effort to prevent the truth from surfacing. Now, I love David and Goliath stories, Liman told Variety, and Killing Satoshi follows an unlikely anti-heroes taking on the most powerful people on the planet in an epic battle that strikes the core of what is money and who controls it. The film is being produced by Ryan Kavanaugh, the former Relative Media CEO who financed films including The Social Network and The Fighter before his studio filed for bankruptcy back in 2015. Now, Kavanaugh, who once planned to launch a token called Proxy Coin to help fund film projects, is producing the film alongside Lawrence Gray and Shane Valdez. Now, again, this is not just a movie about Bitcoin and its elusive and mysterious origins, but really about what it stands for, Kavanaugh told Variety. We look at this film much the same way as we did with The Social Network and its examination of Facebook. The film is set to begin production in October in London, with an expected 2026 release date, and Satoshi Nakamoto's creation, which launched in 2009, birthed the nearly $4 trillion crypto industry, though the Bitcoin founder disappeared from the internet in 2011. Now he's potentially sitting on a massive trove of Bitcoin, and the wallet's connected to Satoshi holding about 1.1 million Bitcoin, or approximately $122 billion today's prices. So, okay, this is going to be a pretty interesting, movie. So, I did cover the whole article. I thought I wasn't going to, but no, I had to know more about it. So, yeah, I'll probably see it. Will you guys see it in theaters? Let me know down below. But that is it for the news today. It looks like our fear and greed index right now, as we always end the videos off, it's at a 42. So we're back in neutral. Yesterday we were in fearful territory, but we are making our way back on up right now. Bitcoin is currently at 111,000, so we just dipped beneath 112 again. Ethereum's at 44. XRP is at $2.85, and BNB 858. Crazy. But that is it. Take a look at the bubbles. Yep, we're in a sea of green right now, so it's looking good right now. But everyone, I hope everyone has a good Wednesday. It's hump day, so we're halfway through the work week, so you can do it, guys. So keep stacking those sats, and also if you want to attend our crypto classes, join any one of our clubs. Or if you want to take advantage of any of our programs, go to bitcoinben.io and see what we have to offer you. Confidential Bitcoin purchases, loans for Bitcoin, our Beef Initiative, and our Home to Hodl program. So we have tons of stuff to offer. So definitely check on this out. So guys, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges. It's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.